Well, I've been studying on the Karmamudra and the Mahamudra in the Naropa book, but there was something I was going to talk about at the very beginning, but I never did, and I thought I might interject it here. I was going to kind of give a little history of Chogyam Trungpa, how he maybe fits into the bringing of the dharma into the West. I was talking about the communist takeover of Tibet at the beginning there. So it became clear to the Tibetans, in 1950 really, but painfully clear in 59 when they revolted and the Chinese came down and Dalai Lama escaped to Tibet. If you were a high Lama, you either escaped to India or the Chinese tortured and killed you. So it was a stark choice. And Trungpa Rinpoche led a group of, I'll probably get this wrong, but led a group of 700 people out of Tibet from eastern Tibet. It was Chinese were a little less in control, but they were guarding all the passes and all the routes to get to India. So you're going to see some Chinese, and maybe like, I don't know, I'll get the numbers wrong, but 12 made it out of the 700. The rest of them didn't make it. Or maybe some of them made it, broke away in different groups when they're running from the Chinese every night. It took them, I don't know how long, 4 or 5 months maybe. I don't know how long it took them. Traveling at night in those mountains, it was bad. Chinese were shooting at them, helicopters, everything. So they get to Tibet, and the Tibetans are getting kind of organized. The Indians were nice to the Tibetans. They really gave them a lot of hospitality and a home, and they didn't give them the best land, but they gave them hard scrabble, pieces of land to stay on, and it's a big adjustment in climate. It was a lot hotter. Reminds you of the stories of Marpa coming to India to get the teachings way back when. It's kind of a little bit like that quality. He got sick and a lot of difficulties adjusting to life down in the lower elevations. Anyway, the Tibetans are looking at each other going, what are we going to do? We're screwed, The Indians are being nice to us, but this is no way to live the rest of your existence, hand to mouth on what the Indians would give you, handouts. We got to figure a plan, and the plan was to pick the best and brightest person they had, go to the West, figure it out, come back, tell us how to navigate and what to do, and lead the way for us to go to the West, because we don't know anything. And they picked Chogyam Trungpa. He was, 21 years old or something. He was the brightest student, best of the Tibetans. They sent him on a Fulbright scholarship to England, to Oxford, where he studied art, Western culture, philosophy, and he was a real curiosity. And all the Buddhists, they had a Buddhist society there that had been going on a while. They never run anybody like him, but they were pretty curious about him, and he made a lot of friends through that. That's where he got his initial connections, and ended up moving up to Scotland, a place called they started a center up there. I don't know, Samyeling, I think they call it. Then he meets this young aristocratic lady, girl, 16-year-old girl, runs away, sort of, or, leaves home one weekend and goes up there and meets him. And they say back then I was asking everybody to marry him, bunch of women, but she said yes. She was 16. It was kind of a big scandal. She was an aristocrat, it was big news, sort of. He had a lot of problems with his partner. His guy was a Lama, but the guy was supposed to be taking care of him as well. But anyway, basically, Trungpa Rinpoche felt like that he was sort of a curiosity. He was like a circus animal that they would drag out. So all these kind of dilettantes that wanted to see what Buddhism's all about. There was something not very genuine about the whole scene. This kind of reminds you of the way it was with Krishnamurti when he came along the scene. They brought him as this big savior for the Hindu people and Theosophists. And he just said, you people are, very shallow and very, it's like a circus around here. I'm leaving, a little bit of that. But Trungpa Rinpoche, he wanted to take off his robes and be more genuine. And he wanted to really encounter Western mind without all the fascinating bells and whistles of Tibetology, running around. And he just wanted to encounter the West on its own terms and him be accepted on his own terms. And so he just started dressing like a Westerner and got married and renounced his monastic vows and became a Malay Buddhist, which freaked everybody out, This guy was supposed to save us, and look what he's done, It caused a big scandal, sort of. And in the Western side, too, it was like a huge scandal. Everybody couldn't figure out what was going on. They had, and Akyong, kind of betrayed him, and it was a big mess. Akyong took a bunch of his important valuables, his seals and whatnot. He took his son. The President Sakyong was sort of kidnapped is a strong word, but he was held hostage. He wouldn't give him his son, He said, can I have my son? No. It took him a couple of years to get his son back. But he had died, and they couldn't get their visa together, so they ended up in Canada for a little while, waiting for a visa. They were going to go to Vermont. It was kind of lined up that way, but then Colorado sort of made a nice offer. There were some connections with some professors and students and at the University of Colorado Boulder, and they invited him to come be a adjunct professor, teach some classes. So he goes to Boulder, and he got down in the dirt with these people. He dressed like they did, and I don't know. It's a little hard to explain. But there is a tradition in the East of the great teachers getting pretty involved in sex and pretty involved in drinking. It's just a thing that happens sometimes. Not everybody does it, but in Zen, it's like a lot. But it's the same in Tibetan Buddhism. It's Vajrayana, man. I mean, he wasn't organizing this for everyone, but he was showing us how it's done or something. I don't know. He loved women and they loved him. And he never made any women angry. There was no angry women. That came one woman 30 years later who is a demon, according to Dzongchen Khyentse Rinpoche, and wanted money bad, was really out to get some money. Other than that, no one ever said anything about Trungpa Rinpoche. I mean, that's not quite true. Everybody at the time was going, what the hell's going on? But not from the students, not from us, There was no harm, no foul, The only harm, the only foul was when we started trying to act like him, that was a problem. But he told us over and over and over again, in no uncertain terms, do not imitate me. If you do, you'll be destroyed. But there's a place for a bit of drinking in Vajrayana, man. It's very powerful. I cannot tell you how powerful what he taught us about drinking in Vajrayana. Was very powerful. I don't drink anymore. My health can't handle it. But I learned more than any other thing, drinking and having sex. Drinking even more, maybe. There's some things to be learned if you do it properly. He said every sip is like a prayer for awareness. When you do it that way, it's a different ball game. There's possibilities of encountering fearlessness in a much more profound way than you would be able to otherwise. I don't know if I can explain it to you, but everything in Shambhala talks about understanding fearlessness, but trust me on this point. Amrita is this, and this Amrita intoxicates and makes you fearless if it's done right. Gives you a kind of confidence to face things that you couldn't have before, or just become fearless, having conquered fear. And we're talking about sex here. I don't know if we've made our points, but passion is a very powerful. Vajrayana is all about things that seem dangerous to other people, but might be used in a powerful way to transform the individual. Passion can get you in a lot of trouble, but there's potentials for passion to get you enlightened. There's pitfalls all the way. Dangerous, danger, 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 danger. I say, you're in danger of getting your heart open completely. That's a big danger. But you might have a train wreck with jealousy, or you might overindulge. It is not uncommon for these gurus to end up being drunks and sex addicts. If you're not careful, you can end up a drunk or a sex addict, or both. So, danger, danger. Danger, 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 danger. Do not become a drunk. We're not teaching you to drink here, but do not become a crazy sex addict. That's not the point of this. The point is to gain this wisdom and to be, if you're a man, to be taught by a fabulous female who has become Dakini herself and teaches you. And listen to what she says, because she's telling you something. Don't boss that lady around. Don't try to be the boss on top of her. Just let her be the boss. It's a better plan. She won't wreck this thing. You'll wreck it if you try to do that. She won't wreck it. She might, but hell, it'll be fun. She might wreck it, but you will for sure wreck it. She'll wreck it in a nicer way, probably. Women don't need to wreck it like men do. Men have to go off the rails if they take charge. Women do not. Just trust the woman. Just give her the lead and follow along if you can, and it's going to be a good ride. You'll be helping her. You're going to guide her. If she's looking like she's going the wrong way, you're going to try to. But she ain't the boss. She's the boss. She be the boss. She bring down the bliss and emptiness. She gets to be the boss. So just let her be the boss. You try to put some smart stuff into this equation. You put some smart stuff into this equation. You help her stay on the straight and narrow, so to speak. There ain't no straight and narrow when it comes to her. She's the wild mother. Straight and narrow is no part of it, but it's possible to keep it on the rails anyway. So, I don't know, Trungpa Rinpoche was just like manifested crazy wisdom beyond belief for everybody. He just brought everybody along. There's nobody left behind, man. We didn't leave one guy behind. We didn't leave one girl behind. We brought everybody along. We had some crazy people with us, but we brought them all along. He brought everybody along. He was just the kindest person imaginable. And I won't be able to explain this, and I don't think you'll understand it. I don't think any of us really understood it in a way. He was the scariest person you could ever imagine. All these great teachers came to him and just shat their pants when they walked in the door. Not all of them. Not Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, The Dalai Lama shit his pants. I guarantee you. A lot of them did. A lot of great teachers came to him and shit their pants. And everybody else shit their pants. Why? Because he was like reality. He had become reality. And when you meet reality, this is a funny way of saying it, but I love the way I love the ecstatic Christians. And I particularly love the ones that drink strychnine. I love to hear them talk. And here's what they say. You can handle those snakes. You can do this, do that. You can do whatever you want. But when you drink the strychnine, you better be right with God. If you were really right with God, then you didn't shit your pants. But if there's a little ego, there's a little ego hanging around. That little ego shit its pants when it saw Trungpa Rinpoche coming, man. I'm just telling you. That's the way it is. You better be right with God when you come face to face with Trungpa Rinpoche. But there's nothing wrong with shitting your pants. There ain't nothing wrong with shitting your pants when you got some ego to get rid of. That's the best medicine there is. Give me that. I was just, give me more of that. Give me more of that. Give me more of that. And it wasn't like you necessarily shit your pants from the throne, but you if you're big hot to do and you think you're hot shit and you walk up to him, man, you're gonna shit your pants. It's gonna happen. And everybody shit their pants, so it's just the way it is. That's part of the deal. This Karmamudra is gonna make you shit your pants like you can't believe. You're gonna shit your pants 24/7 till there's nothing left but Mahamudra. You're going to shit your pants with the Karmamudra. There's nothing left to shit out, and then you're going to be Mahamudra. That's the way it works. So if you want to do this Karmamudra, get ready to shit your pants. And you'd be blessed to have Trungpa Rinpoche, right, to help you get it moving, man. He would keep it rolling. That's just who he was. If you're Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, you done shit your pants. There's no more shit to do, but they loved each other. There's nothing better for those two guys than to get together. And they both shut everything out already, and we're like one being. They couldn't tell the difference between him and me. I can't tell the difference between me and that guy. We're just like one being. That's the way they talked about each other. We're one mind. We're one mind. Well, I don't know, he talked less and less it's hard to explain, but his talks went from these long drawn with a lot of words to a 3-word talk, a 7-word talk. And, his life was used to, it looked a little normal, but then it was like, he said 7 words today, Wow, he was talking to today. But it was just, in the Kagyu lineage, the greatest thing that can happen to you is what is called to be called by the Dakinis. Oh shit, I went over.